Welcome to Top List Galore. Now we have stories that will make you feel furious. They will make you feel frustrated because there are humans who are really terrible people. Here we will see some animals that were abandoned by their owners in captivity. They were forgotten or left on purpose, but had no way to save themselves. Let's get started. A zoo owner in Aleppo, Syria, fled his amusement park and left 13 animals in the park, completely abandoned. The only way the animals survived was because of the kindness of the locals, who stepped up and took care of the animals and fed them. Forepaws, an animal welfare group, eventually found out, and they came in to rescue all the animals. It was a tricky situation due to the heat, but they took constant breaks as they got them to northern Turkey. There were some scary animals left behind, but the bravery and the compassion from the locals allowed these animals to get a second chance. The 2011 Fukushima tsunami disaster caused countless damage, and one of the victims was the Inobosaki Marine Park, who had to close down to a lack of visitors. The owners of this park had a famous dolphin named Honey and 40 penguins, and when they shut down, they just abandoned them. Some people would go and feed them, but the dolphin was completely alone, and although many organizations tried to save her, they were never given the go-ahead, and she died completely alone 2 years after being abandoned. The plans were to sell the penguins to China, but it's unclear what happened to them. Many of the cases on this list are because of war, and this one happened in Libya. The people had to run away, and the animals were left to fend for themselves. They had to be away for a week, where the animals didn't get any food or water, but even after coming back, they don't have the resources to keep the animals comfortable. There isn't enough meat for the predators or water for all the animals. Luckily, 10 of the 200 zookeepers came back and have gotten a ton of help from the suppliers to keep the animals alive. If you want to help me out, please don't abandon the like button and click on it right now. Also, please subscribe and turn on those post notifications. The people of the Lion Mountain YouTube channel had some neighbors who abandoned their animals, and they waited 2 weeks to tell these beautiful people to go save them. Well, for most animals, it was already too late. They found a cow, a cat, a dog, and 2 rabbits already dead. Luckily, they were able to save 3 bunnies that somehow lasted 2 weeks without enough water and food. And to finish with these animals' terrible luck, there was a windstorm during these 2 weeks that destroyed most of the structures that were still there. Imagine how scared they must have been. These people took the bunnies away, and now they are living happily on their farm. There was an aquarium in Indonesia that used to sell corals, but since they were banned, the aquariums were left abandoned. These YouTubers went into the abandoned aquarium and found baby sharks inside the tanks. Shark fins are eaten around the world, and over 73 million sharks are killed yearly just for this purpose. These YouTubers took those sharks and set them free with the help of the locals. Due to the current pandemic, a zoo in Korea had to shut down soon after opening. The owners took all the smaller animals, but left the big animals anticipating that they would be opening back up pretty soon, but it has lasted over 2 years. The owner claims to be taking care of the animals, but it's mostly a local resident who has been doing it with her family, as she has only seen the owner at the zoo about 2 times in over a year. She first noticed the abandoned animals when she heard thumping, and it was a horse bashing its head against its empty water container. The animals look to be healthy, but it's all that thanks to this wonderful woman. Gone Wild Exotics was a pet store in the United States whose owners just up and left their store, leaving a ton of animals inside the shop, and they just never came back. The owner of the units called the police after 3 weeks without the store opening, and they came in and found a ton of rats, a huge African frog, and many other creatures. Luckily, the police were able to take care of the animals and found homes for them at another local pet shop. These clowns even shut off the power to the shop, making the living conditions just terrible for these poor creatures. This zoo in Reynosa in Mexico left almost 100 animals abandoned. A good Samaritan had called the authorities to denounce the treatment of the animals, and when they got there, nobody was there. They found terrible conditions for the animals, with some being dead still in the cages. Some of the animals, like the tiger, had serious physical ailments and just couldn't walk anymore. The animals were handed over to the government, where their health will be assessed. The good thing about this was that they had been abandoned recently, probably because of the raid that was coming, but the treatment was terrible. The zoo in the war-torn city of Mosul in Iraq was abandoned by its owners, and many animals were killed before the owners left, or have died since. A bomb actually landed in the zoo and allowed the monkeys to escape, and they started causing mayhem in the city. Locals were feeding the animals, but with the troubles in the city, even they had trouble looking for food for themselves. A month after, an organization in Kyrgyzstan was able to send a lot of food to help the animals survive while they are moved to another zoo. Sometimes people have to leave in a hurry, but that shouldn't mean that you can just leave captive animals to die. You have to figure out a way to come back or send help for them. But some of these people just didn't care. Luckily, there are still some good people out there, and they tried their best to help these poor animals. Thanks for watching this video. See you next time.